Another hard day on the homestead. Hey, if I told you had access to an expert, a free expert, would you use it? Come with us as we discover an expert source that you might use. It might not be what you think, because it's not me. Come on. I bet you probably thought I was talking about me, didn't you? Now, I'm no expert. I'll be the first to tell you. No, I'm not. I am not an expert. But ever since we've been homesteading, we've always heard the phrase, check with your extension office. And it was that I don't know, seemed like not for real, free service, free experts, free scientists.
Yeah.
But after COVID started, we quickly learned that they are a valuable resource. And it wasn't because of COVID, it was because, well, I guess it is kind of because of COVID. Because of COVID, they started offering online free Zoom training sessions.
Yes.
And that's
and some pretty neat classes too.
On everything from ants to mice to garden.
Plant identification.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. And so we actually reached out to our local extension office and we asked them if they could do an interview. And so they gave us one of the guys to do an interview with, and we recorded on Zoom. His audio is better than mine. I didn't have our microphones hooked up to it because we had issues trying to get ours working, and I didn't. So our first interview, I didn't want to mess it up. So our audio is there. You can hear it. Just not as good as I normally would like it to be. So come with us as we interview the regional person for the extension office. Today with us, we have Jim Davis with us from our local county extension office. Now, Barbie and I started homesteading 6 years ago, and we had no gardening homestead experience beforehand because neither one of us grew up in that environment. And we always heard this whole mythical, well, contact your local extension office. They're a wealth of resources and blah, blah, blah. And we heard that, but didn't really pay attention to it. So Jim, could you give us just a few minutes to tell us a little bit about you and what is an extension office and what kind of services do they provide?
Sure, absolutely. I'm the multi-county extension director. So I'm an extension director who has 2 counties. And so I'm not only in Hernando, but in Sumter. And we're part of the University of Florida IFAS, which is Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences. And the way how extension developed, the genesis of it, was actually came a long time ago in 1862. There was called the Land Grant Act, or the Morrill Act. And so through that, cooperative extension came into being in 1914 called the Smith and Lever Act. And this is a combination between land grant universities, extension, and the United States Department of Agriculture. So it's kind of like a partnership. And on the local level, well, throughout what extension is it's a combination of a partnership between the county, the state, and federal. And so it's a wonderful system, and we provide a lot of resources for everyone. And it's funny that you mentioned that a lot of people have never heard of extension before, and we're often called the best kept secret. We really don't like that. So we're glad we're getting the word out because, this is a service that is free to our residents, and we provide a lot of people are familiar with the gardening aspect, but there's so much more with extension.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can certainly glean all kinds of gardening information and pest control information off of YouTube, but our YouTube channel and our podcast is specifically Zone 9's A and B, which is Central Florida, and it could be also other areas too. And that's one thing we really like about the extension office is because the information that you give us is tuned to us. Like, for example, I mentioned the Zoom class I attended of yours earlier. What were we talking about? We were talking about, we was talking about rats and mice. And you gave me some good ideas. I still have a rat problem. As a matter of fact, our Jeep's in the shop right now getting $3,000 worth of repairs done.
My goodness.
Some rat related, some not rat related. That's just part of having a homestead. You have feed, you have animals, you have rats, So how does the extension office get funded?
Well, we're funded. The funding is through the county and UF. And the way it works in my county is that Hernando County provides a portion, whether it be a salary portion and operational funding. So for example, some of our agents are funded to a certain percentage. So let me give you an example. I'm 20%-ish funded by Hernando County. So that's what they provide for that. And we have other agents that are 90-10, 60-40. And so the county provides a set of funding, university provides a set of funding, and that goes towards the salary, the operational supplies, travel and so on. So with extension cannot exist in the state of Florida without our counties. And we have in Hernando County, we have such a great relationship between our Hernando County government. And it's critical, and they're extremely supportive. All of our county commissioners are very supportive, and we have a wonderful county administrator and deputy county administrator who knows extension, who knows what extension is about, and tries to get our services out to our residents.
Can you tell us a little bit about the background of the typical person who helps the community?
Well, a lot of us come from diverse backgrounds, depending on our program area. So as far as our faculty go, for me, I've been in 20 plus years in the green industry. So I have a horticulture background major, and I'm an entomologist, and I'm also dealing with natural resources and agriculture. So it's like a jack of all trades. We have faculty who have a marine science degree. So Brittany Sharp. So Brittany helps with the fishermen, whether it be scalloping season, manatees, the Master Naturalist program. And we have agents that have financial backgrounds. So Scott Taylor, a family consumer sciences agent. And this is an area where I really want people to know about, because especially right now with COVID, now's the time to manage your money. And Scott's a free resource, and he's right there at our office. And he has a very, very impressive background as well. And we have Dr. Bill Lester, who's our residential horticulture agent. You're probably familiar with Bill, and he's all over the place. And Bill has a doctorate in Doctor of Plant Medicine. And we have Nancy Morse, and Nancy is our 4-H agent. And so it's funny, some people don't equate extension with 4-H. They know what 4-H, but they probably never heard of extension. But 4-H is extension. And Nancy has been in Hernando County the longest, and she has a strong 4-H program. And we're very proud of that program because the kids are our future. And so Nancy teaches them everything, ag-related, food science-related, financial. So she incorporates all these disciplines from adult education that we provide into one for our kids. And it really does make a difference with these 4-H kids growing up. I've taught 4-H in my bug camp, and it really sticks with them, in life. So that's the background of some of our extension faculty. And we also have multi-county agents that work for other counties but come in and help us out. So I have Matt Smith, who's funded by Sumter. He's our sustainable ag and food systems agent. So he helps our growers, such as our hops growers in Hernando. You may not know we have a hops farm in Hernando.
Did not know that.
One of our largest in the state.
Wow.
And so we have Laura Bennett, who's funded by Pasco, and she comes in and she helps our cattlemen. Florida's still very, very big on cattle, and so ruminants and so on. So we have a very impressive faculty and in Sumter, Hernando County.
And she was helping us try to find a squeeze chute for our bull. We ended up, that was it. I was able to put the bull on the side. I was glad to hear you say that about the 4-H, about investing in the kids for the future, because like I said, obviously our kids were grown by the time we got into gardening and homesteading, but our grandboys, if you watch our YouTube videos, they're all throughout our videos, not by design, just because they come visit us, and they have such a desire for hunger to want to learn, especially about plants.
Well, and the oldest one is in agriculture classes in school.
And they light up when they plant stuff and they see it grow and they see, you know, the babies come from the goats and stuff, and just it's a way to connect them that disassociates them from the electronics world. You know, it just gets them outside and just, you know, it does a lot of good stuff for them. So the extension office, is it really geared for the agricultural businesses, or is it geared towards the homesteaders or a home gardener? Who's your target audience, or is it all of the above? I don't know.
Target audience is, it ranges: homeowners, cattlemen, businesses. So it really goes throughout. So we have commercial fishermen, we have farmers markets, and so on. So our clientele is anyone who wants to use our service. Really,
that's good to hear, because we certainly need the help, because after 6 years of doing gardening, we're just getting to the point where we don't kill most of our plants.
I actually will be starting the Master Gardener class with Dr. Lester next Tuesday. So
oh, nice.
I am excited about that.
Nice. And, you know, it's a lot of areas that we also teach, but also one of the things that our agents do is provide certifications. So, you know, you have your Florida Master Gardener certification, which hopefully you'll go through, which I'm sure you'll do great. We have our Florida Master Naturalist certification, but we also have industry certifications. So what Bill does is Bill teaches the green industry's best management practices, GIBMP. And this is a certification that's very important for our industry in that green industry. Because what it is it's a certification that they have to apply fertilizer on a commercial basis. If they don't have that, they can't do business. And the only ones that provide training, one of the ones that provide training is us. Is UF-IFAS Extension. And we also do pest control license. So a lot of people that you see spraying inside, you know, doing pest control for your house or doing pest control in the landscapes on a commercial basis. We provide training for that, and we provide CEUs, continuing education units, for those individuals.
We already know you're a good person because you have a dog. And
yes.
I'm surprised our dog hasn't woke up and started barking at your dog, to be honest.
We always like people with, it's dog. You know good people when they have a dog.
So are the extension offices just in Central Florida, or is there an office like in every county?
You know, and that's a great question. And a lot of people ask that. We're very fortunate in the state of Florida to have an extension office in every single county, in all 67 counties. That may not ring true for other states. Sometimes you have smaller counties and a lot of counties. But in Florida, it is in every single county that we have an office. In some cases, we have 2 offices. In Sumter, we have a satellite office. So we're very fortunate over there. And so, and all of these offices a lot of them are centrally located and available, you know, for everyone. And granted that we do have offices in every county, we also have, we teach in other places. We have agents teaching in libraries. We have master gardeners going to your local box stores, right? To distribute the services and stuff like that. But it's, you know, one of the interesting thing is that with extension is not in Florida, or not only in Florida, it's throughout the nation. So all the land grant universities. So for the people coming down to Florida, if you're from New York, for example, Cornell, top-notch land grant university, okay? And University of Tennessee, Texas A&M. Those are all examples of land grant universities that have extension offices around. And one of the things I like to point out is that, you know, we're often called extension office, which is great. But to really get a good idea of what we do, I like to call our office our campus, because this is exactly what we are. We're a campus. We're a satellite from the University of Florida. And so you'll hear me going back and forth between extension agents and extension faculty. Well, we're commonly referred to extension agents, but we're really faculty. we are faculty from the University of Florida. And so this is also another great resource. I mean, where can you go locally to have a one-on-one consultation with with University of Florida faculty, providing the latest science and research for you?
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. And like I said, that's why when I really found what you were doing, and I just latched onto it, because one of my addictions is learning. You know, I strive to learn 2 new things every day in 2 different subject fields, and it just kind of accumulates after a while. So you did mention that you guys do classes at like big box stores and all that stuff. How has COVID or the pandemic affected how you deliver classes now?
It's different. So it's a whole different ball game. And the key thing is that we had to learn to adapt really fast. So it has affected us negatively, if you will, but also in a positive way. And I'll explain in a second. So with our in-person classes, yeah, we don't have in-person classes right now. And so that has put a hit on us, especially with our Master Naturalist program. And, you know, Bill is first in the state to do distance Master Gardener training, which is perfect timing. But for those counties that don't have that, that's affected them. We're given special permission to go one-on-one with a site visit. So if I or Matt or I have to go to a farm, we just can't go. We have to ask permission through the University of Florida to get clearance. And so all of these things have definitely affected that in some ways, but and it especially hit the 4-H really hard at first, and still as with the day camps. I hold a bug camp every summer. Unfortunately, I couldn't have it, and in my bug camps I have 30 kids in Sumter, and we have day camps in Hernando that have been severely affected. All the homeschool programs that Nancy and Bill and Brittany have started, and Scott, they have started in Hernando for parents with homeschool children, came to a sudden end. So they had to adapt. So we had to go virtually like we are now. But that's not a bad thing in a sense, because our agents have adapted, and now we've we've utilized the technology to get that outreach to our clients. And right now it's been surprisingly successful. And for some of the, believe it or not, it varies, but for some of the classes that we teach, now we actually get greater attendance than an in-person class. There's a time for in-person classes for a GIBMP training or, pest control operator license. That's been severely affected. So we're trying to adapt and how to do that remotely, because those classes really, it's really good to have in person. And some of the Master Gardener classes, propagation, you really have to do that in person. But some of our other classes that we do, for example, our wildlife class that we have every Friday, we'll have a talk on Florida's lizards. And, we cap out at 100 people within seconds. And it's just amazing, the outreach now. We're not only in Hernando, but we're out of county. We're in multiple states now. And now we're reaching other countries.
Nice.
And so we've gone international. So that was a surprising offset from COVID. But we definitely want to get back to these in-person classes and trainings. Some of the stuff I do guided hikes, and they teach about the natural resources and interpretive walks. And I can't do that now. And I want to, and it's a wellness factor associated with that. So, we want to go back to those in-person classes, but we're being with this new technology, we have something that we can utilize more and more, that we really weren't pushed into, in the early days. So some good things, some bad things, but the nice thing about Extension is Extension adapts, and it's been very well received by our participants who greatly appreciate the fact that we're providing this distance education for free. And while they're at home on quarantine, they can learn. Like you said, you want to learn 2 new things. And so they're learning. And that's healthy for a person, you know? And so, so that's the good thing about what's happened during this time.
As a fellow instructor, you know, my day job, because I'm not a content creator 8 to 5. That's my side hustle. But my real job is I'm an instructor. I used to, until COVID, I would travel around the United States teaching people how to install copper and fiber optic systems. And most people I teach were technicians. They are hands-on. They're tactile learners. They are hands-on people. So that's right. That's one of the challenges that we have as well too, is the whole virtual thing. You know, it does help for as far as, you know, reducing costs. But on your side though, I could definitely see it, and a huge benefit there. When you do the online classes and stuff, are they recorded and then put on a service like YouTube or something?
They are, and we do record them. We put them on YouTube, and we'll put some of the agents put them on there for a long time. Some agents will pull them off, you know, and update them and give another presentation later on. But we do have those recorded. Some, like Bill, will put his on Canvas, and you know, they do Facebook Live too. That they go out, and so a lot of good resources for people to go through.
Besides training, what other types of services does the Extension Office provide to the community?
Oh, geez. Well, training, diagnostics. So this is another area where y'all are familiar with, being gardeners. But a lot of people still don't know that we can do in-house diagnostics in our office. You know, and this is something we can't do remotely in most cases. So in person, in our office, we have a lab, and we have people bring in samples. So one of the most common diseases found in Hernando for turf is take-all root rot. And so a person can take that turf sample into the extension office, and we can diagnose that on the spot. We just look through it through a microscope, or sometimes we have to plate it out and slide it out. I put it on a slide and check for take-all. And that's a free service. So if you were to send that to a lab, that would cost you anywhere between $45 to $75 plus for each sample. And so the diagnostics are key. That's for homeowners. That's one example. Insects, termites. People bring in termites. Is a termite or an ant? That's very critical to know based on the control. For growers, timing is critical. For homeowners, sometimes you can wait, right, a week or two. Not with growers. Growers need that answer immediately. And that's what our agents will do. So our agents will go out to that site, collect that sample, or our growers will bring in that sample, and we'll try to get that sample and diagnose it immediately so they can resolve it, because time is money and something can happen very, very quickly. So that's one of the most important things as well. And that includes lure with the livestock. You know, if their animal's sick, if they need to improve their pasture, soil samples. And soil samples is something that's definitely needed, whether it be a homeowner or for a grower, because you want to make sure you start from the ground up, because if you don't, you can have a failing crop or failing plant. So, and again, with Scott's financial services, you can contact Scott, and he can help you with your tax returns, or any financial advice. You can have a one-on-one via Zoom like we are now, or if you want to do it in person, that can happen right now at the extension office. So those are just a few of the services that extension provides.
It's funny you mentioned the livestock thing. We have Nigerian dwarf goats. Mm-hmm. One of our goats, our baby, she was actually born on the private. She's 2 now, but we bred her this year, and she was actually due to deliver tomorrow. But last weekend she had a stillborn, and her chest was all swollen. Her legs were swollen. So we called the travel vet, and he came out, and he said, I don't know.
He's baffled.
He's baffled.
It could be a snake bite. It could be
Yeah.
she got a cut and they got infected, or she's got some kind of infection going on. But
So maybe we need to reach out to our local livestock agent and
see if they've ever come
across
across it.
it before. Yeah.
Well, when the animal's sick, you definitely want to contact that vet.
Oh, yeah.
You want to contact that vet first. But, the areas where Laura can help is like, let's say if you have a person who's come down and has some horses, and maybe their horses are becoming lethargic. And so Laura could go out as a livestock agent. What could that horse be eating something it shouldn't be eating?
Right.
Could there be some Carolina jessamine out there? Could be some creeping indigo that can be really harmful for horses. So a lot of people don't know, whenever they get animals as hobbyists, there's a lot of poisonous plants out there. And so, if you have livestock, you can call Laura, and Laura can probably either talk to you on the phone, or she likes to do site visits, and she'll come out and can look at can evaluate that pasture and tell you if you have any poisonous plants out there and how to properly take care of them.
Yeah, we'll be reaching out to her after we get off this call. I'll shoot her.
She's awesome. She's a wonderful agent.
Yeah. So we got into this whole homesteading thing, like I said, about 6 years ago, and neither one of us had any kind of experience. So I'm just kind of curious now with all this quarantining and COVID stuff. And have you guys seen an increase in interest in gardening and homesteading?
Definitely. Yes. Especially early on. A lot of interest in vegetable gardening. Bill did hydroponics, which was crazy amount of people who were attending that. So that's definitely on the increase. People want to compost, make their own compost. So we're definitely seeing an increase during that COVID of people want to, either want to go out in the yard and exercise and do something, or people want to go out there and have their own food supply.
Right.
And learn how to grow vegetables and for themselves. And, really a great way to do that is the hydroponics. So, if, for the listeners, if in any extension office in your county, a lot of them provide hydroponics training. Highly recommend it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because we didn't really become good at gardening until we learned how to grow dirt first. Got to learn to compost, because our soil, especially where we live, because we're on the very eastern edge of the county, almost into Pasco County, and our soil's real nasty. It's sandy, compacted, and we didn't realize that was an issue until we started composting and getting horse manure from other sources and stuff, and started growing our own dirt and stuff. And boom, now we're doing so much better now. And we do.
That's right.
We do hydroponics. We do the Kratky method, and we also do aquaponics. So we kind of dabble in a little bit of everything.
That's great. And, we have an aquaponics system that we started pre-COVID that Brittany had started out there with several of our volunteers. But, everything starts from the ground up. And, when I was at UF, whenever you took a soil science test, one of the first things I remember my professor saying is that you don't call it dirt. You fail if you call it dirt. It's soil.
Right. Well, I tell that to people all the time.
It's soil. It's not dirt. And it's a living thing. And you have to think of it as a living thing. And you're exactly right. You improve that soil, and everything's going to be so much better. You may not even have to use as many fertilizers as you would with an area that has not been composted or amended.
Yeah, we actually tend to stay away from commercial grade fertilizers. Now that anything's a fertilizer. I mean, we use fish emulsion from the aquaponics. That's a fertilizer, but it's natural. So we try to grow all our own stuff, and that way we know where it came from, because we know we're eating it. And we have chickens and other stuff, and people, the whole misconception is, well, wait a minute, so you get free eggs? Well, no, we got to buy the feed. Right?
Yeah.
You got to take care of them, and
you just can't stick them out.
Right, and being new homesteaders, our first set of chickens, one of them got sick, and we went to the vet and spent $80 for him to tell us this chicken had bumblefoot.
Yeah.
And you for those who don't know, you can buy a chicken, a pullet for $20. But we were new and we didn't know any better. But now we know. I look at it this way.
And we know how to treat it.
It's an $80 investment on how to treat bumblefoot, right? So it's on how you look at things. It really is. So is there anything that maybe we didn't cover that you want to get out to the people to help bring enlightenment to the Extension Office and the great work that you guys do?
Really, I just want people to reach out to us. And I'm glad y'all are giving us this opportunity. Like I said, we have a lot of services available to everyone. Just give us a call. Shoot us an email. Come visit us at our office. Our offices are open, and so you can call us, schedule an appointment, and utilize these services. This is what we're here for. This is what your tax dollars pay for.
Yep.
So take advantage of it.
I just wish that we had taken advantage of it way earlier in our gardening.
A lot of people say that.
we might have been a lot further along. It's funny because when my kids come up, they look at our stuff and they think we're master gardeners now, but we don't even consider ourselves master gardeners. We're just, because we look at stuff and we're
show
better.
you what not to do.
Yeah. I tell people all the time when I talk about my YouTube channel, if you want to learn how not to grow vegetables, how not to do homesteading, watch my channel and you'll see all of the mistakes.
Well, Bill's going to teach y'all how to be an expert. So you're on your way.
And I've known about the University of Florida resources because I look up plant information and pest information for plants, all that all the time. But it wasn't until COVID hit that we really found out about the Extension Office. So this is an amazing resource that y'all have for the community. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. And a lot of resources from the University of Florida IFAS. So just give us a call. We have a lot of great information out there. And, one of the things that I really want to emphasize is that there's a lot of stuff out there for people to go on, to look at. But the difference from us is that we provide the latest science research-based information that you want to use. One of
the things I learned about, when I got my college degree, evaluate your source that you're referencing from.
Yes.
That's right.
Is it some guy who just started a YouTube channel the other day and he had to go through 4 generations of filtration systems for his duck aquaponics system? Or is it somebody who knows the latest, greatest technique, right? And it's all about knowing your source. And that's why.
And just because Grandpa did it that way doesn't mean it's right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
So what is your website and what's your phone number?
We just go to the Hernando County Solutions for Your Life website. You can just find us on Google. Just push on Hernando County, Hernando County Extension, University of Florida. You'll find our website. You can put in UFIFAS blogs to see some of our blogs out there that are current and being pushed out. So just go online, Google University of Florida IFAS Extension in your local county, and you'll be able to find us.
And for those of you who not know, IFAS is IFAS, right?
IFAS, Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences.
Gotcha. Yep. Very good. Well, we appreciate your time, and maybe one day have you come out when we feel a little bit better about our property and stuff. Have you come out and just kind of do a walk around and see what we got going on out in the homestead.
Anytime, anytime. We always like to, hopefully the time will come back when we can do client visits, and so we always like to do that. Site visits are still a very important part of Extension.
The next time you have a question about your garden or one of your animals, make sure you check out your local Extension office. They're a wealth of knowledge. Until next time.
Live your own story.